So the first page of my website need to have all that.
Yes.
It needs to look.
Why nobody never told me that?
I
I mean, that's not even what you think about.
I'm the marketing director for a multi-million-dollar firm, and I have never heard it broken down
Not like
this
this.
simple before.
Yeah.
To the point where I do this, and I have a page of notes. So what you're getting right now is gold.
Hey, what's up? Thanks for stopping by and welcome to my channel. My name is Fung, and what you're about to watch is a segment of a digital marketing workshop that my brother and I hosted for our local networking groups. For the last couple of years, my brother and I have been silently building our digital marketing agency, and we've been attending these local groups and just trying to captivate and capture the local market, right? Like it's any marketer would or anyone would try to do. And thanks to our efforts, honestly, for the last couple of years, we were actually kind of successful in that way. And what we were able to do was be able to work with several different types of industry in the local market space, and even honestly on an e-commerce platform or even influencers as well too, right? So like people who have all kinds of reach, and I'm thankful and grateful for that experience. And so, you know, and when I mean you, like we've met like everybody in every type of business. We've met just about everybody. We met someone who even sells boxes. You can imagine, right? Like you can make a business selling boxes. So not everything has to deal with just the internet, or everything has to deal with like, you know, if you're a painter, or contractor, or carpenter, or something like that too. You can literally make a business out of everything. And thanks to the internet, you know, we're actually able to do a lot of things. And so after attending these workshops for a while, you know, you have to go in and you do a 30-second pitch. And that's like when you tell you who you are, you're trying to sell yourself and try to get someone to, you know, buy your business essentially, right? That's the whole point of selling yourself. Well, you only get 30 seconds, so you can only do it so many times. So for about a year's time, instead of, you know, selling myself, and, you know, my brother and I, instead of just doing 30-second pitches of selling, what we did was do 30 seconds of value. And we did that so much and so often that we kept getting asked, and people kept telling us repeatedly, say, hey, would you guys do a workshop? You know, 30 seconds is enough, and I have way more questions. So what you're about to see is a segment of the workshop that we are hosting. Thanks.
Can you do the pose that the other guy did?
Which guy?
Yeah, the guy you showed me.
All right.
Really?
Hey, thanks for coming. Hey guys.
Good
We're
morning.
gonna get started. Good morning. Thank you guys for coming. I appreciate you guys are really early.
You sure
I know, I'm sorry.
shirts.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, you know, when I'm up here, I can't be in a tank top. I have to be in a decent t-shirt. So I appreciate everybody being here. Thanks for being on time. So this is the Build Your Business Workshop. We host this here every Monday here at the Knicks for the foreseeable future. So, you know, if you like it today, keep coming back on Monday. What we focus on here is organic strategy. So what that means in marketing terms is just that we're not spending money here. So we're saying we're teaching you strategies that you can use to build your business online without spending any kind of money, right? Now, I'm an advertiser, so you can pay me money and help you, like, you know, advertise for your business later. But until we get to that point, we start there, right? So that's what we geared this whole workshop around, is just basically non-paid strategies to build your business online. Okay, we're hosted here in the Mix, which is the connected community here at the Mix. And what is the Mix? The Mix is basically a big co-working space where we have a bunch of awesome people hang out together. But it's not like a traditional co-working space where it's like your corporate guys and that kind of stuff. It's more like a little homey, right? So they actually call this place an incubator for nonprofits or incubator for businesses, which is pretty cool. So we're hosted by these guys, and we have our representative Ryan right here. If you have any questions about the Mission of Wisdom Foundation, which is the organization, the nonprofit that runs this place, you can talk to him. And that's pretty much it. So before we get started here, who here has a website? Websites? Her website. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so this is literally all we're going to do. Perfect. Yeah, for yourself or for the, well, yeah, you don't have one for yourself yet, right?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Cool. So that is what we're going to talk about today. Talk about your website, and that is like the foundation of digital marketing. Like, I know I talked about social media, I talked about all that like cool stuff, but everything works off your website. So really, if we're going to point at what was more important, I would definitely say your website. So in that case, I'll bring my brother up. He is the SEO strategist, the website guy for our company. Funny enough, I'll actually tell the story about how he got into SEO. So I was I'm an advertiser, so I run Facebook ads, I do social media marketing for people. And so I got on a whiteboard one day, I took my brother on the side and I said, hey, these are the parts of digital marketing that I do. And then here's the parts of digital marketing that are left. I said, do you like any of these? And so it happened to be that he liked SEO, and so he got into it and that kind of stuff. And so now he does SEO. I don't touch websites anymore. I don't like WordPress. I don't like emails and all that stuff. He does all that. So if you have a website question, go to him. And that being said, I will introduce him now, my brother, Fung. Enjoy your whiteboard and things. Thanks.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. I am Fung. So, like Wally said, he did tell me to do SEO, but the way he described it was way nicer. And so, I'll go ahead and get started. So, we're going to talk today about E in UX. All right, this is an acronym, and UX, all it is user experience. So, this is just how to optimize your website specifically for your customer journey. So, this is like when people get into it, how are they going to get into your website? All right, but first, thank you. Appreciate you guys for showing up. You guys are awesome.
I agree.
Thank you. I actually have that in my slides. So my notes are right here for the slides. So we are hosted by The Mix. So if you guys do have questions, we're more than happy to take you a tour afterwards. So real quick, a little bit about me. This does not look like it, but this is definitely me. I know I don't look like it as well. I'm almost 32 this year. So I've used a lot of different type of things. I've worked in a lot of different industries in my lifetime. So I know I don't look like it, but I definitely have it. So I joined the IT industry in 2009. This was when the big tech boom happened. And then I worked for corporations like CenturyLink, Verizon, and Children's Medical here in Dallas. I actually worked as a medical inventory. This is what I did for a living. IT is my bread and butter. Anything that touched the internet, I know how it works. Because I work with TV, cell phones, you name it, computers. I've built it since I was a kid all the way until now. So that's where I've used a lot of my experience in IT to actually go into SEO itself. So this is what my parents thought I did. This is what my friends thought I looked like I did. This is what I was actually doing.
Yes. Such a good shot.
Right? So that's actually what I was doing. IT was a very weird thing, and then you could do things pretty easily. All of this is pretty automatic. If you turn it on and off, it might just fix it. You never know. And so fast forward 10 years, I decided to leave corporate world. My brother called me. He had already started a marketing agency and was like, "Hey, you ready to leave your job?" I said yes, because at the time I had actually hit a cap already. I'm actually a college dropout, so the only thing that was like blocking me to go to another level was a piece of paper. Right? So entrepreneurship, here I come. So what we're talking today is about SEO. What is SEO? All it is getting the internet to look at your website. These are all your search engines that are available to exist. How many people still remember Yahoo? Right? You guys searched on Yahoo, so probably still every now and then you probably look at Yahoo Finance or anything like that, right? Bing is a big up-and-coming player. If you work in a corporate structure right now, like in a regular like insurance office or anything, typically you'll use Bing or Internet Explorer. Right? That's where this feeds in. 90% of the world uses Google. And that's pretty much everybody. Google's now standardized on your phone and everything like that. The top three that you really need to understand is these things. Google, Bing, and Yahoo.
Can you say Bing again? Sorry.
Bing.
No, describe what Bing.
Oh, Bing, you use it for major corporations, right?
Major corporations.
Yeah, so
why?
infrastructure. What? Go ahead.
I'm like,
So these other ones, right? These are all like Russian and China and other countries. Now you do have to be, you have to know about that, but that's only for me, really. If you're not on the technical side, then you really don't need these. You just need to know these three.
It was
about
like
your business.
that Bing is always in my computer, like, and I like Google,
Right.
but it's like every time.
Thank Microsoft. That's what
why,
they put
'cause
in.
I got Microsoft. And it's
Yeah,
like,
if you have a Microsoft computer, that's standard. right? Big corporations or any type of like IT company, they use Bing most of the time. So what is E in UX? E is expertise, authoritative, and trustworthiness. So on a big scale, essentially, I just did that for you guys about myself. I showed you that I'm an expert in IT. I've done it for over 10 years. Being my authority of like giving you the knowledge of how it's actually implemented on programs and software. And my trustworthiness, I actually built a connection with you guys today by helping you with your website. That's a big formula, right? So your story is a big part of this formula. How you got started, what you do, your longevity, right? If you have 10 years, 20 years, 30 years of experience, you actually have to tell the internet that you are an expert, right? Like if you don't tell, it's just like if I ask you how long you've been in real estate, right? You say, well, over 20 years. Oh, that's amazing. Well, I have a lot more questions to ask you than someone who's had 5 years of experience. Same thing. Think of your website like building a city, right? For you to understand the city, right, you have to understand the entire intricacies of working it all. The irrigation system, how the light structure works, the electric grid, and everything like that. That's for companies like myself to understand how it all connects and make sure it works. You, as a business owner, have to focus on this. Use your experience. For you, it's like building a house. This is what your website should be looking like, from the foreground all the way up. This is what your business should look like online, like building a house. Right? When you walk in, what's your front door look like? That's like your home page, right? You got your kitchen, your living room, your diner, right? Your dining area, all that stuff. All that comes into play in your business. The user experience, what you bring them into. Same thing for your business. The moment that you start, from hello until all the way you make the transaction. So, I just told you how it all works. Now, funny thing is, you don't need to know this. This is still just for me. This is an actual periodic table of SEO success factors on how content is devised, how you actually need these things. But you need to know them. Yeah, just kidding. You actually don't have to know this. Seriously. This is what you need to know. So this is what the workshop I just filled out for you guys right now. This is a phone, like some of you guys guessed already. But this is telling Google and the internet exactly what your website does. It always starts from where you're located, especially for a local business, right? You can say that you're a caterer, but are you a caterer in New Jersey? Are you a caterer in New York, California, right? You're a nonprofit in Louisiana, Kansas, things like that, right? Then you talk about what you do. This is pretty much the services that you provide, who you are, then you can go into a little story, why it gives you the authority. And this is the biggest part on any website, is how can I find you and how can I get in contact with you? How can I know more? Right? It's always the call to action that most people miss. They always do this part on a website, but they always forget this part.
Wait, what's the who? Who am I? What services do I offer? Who am I?
It says where you're located, what services do you offer, who are you, and then how do I get in contact with you? All right. Now we're going to get to the actual part I really want to talk about, why people actually come to your website. Because there are 3 factors that really, really matter. And this is why anybody gets on the internet, why anybody goes to your website. Because of these 3 reasons here. Navigational, transactional, and informational. Navigational being that they have a destination to go to. This means, like our example earlier, if it is a restaurant, then you need to know where it's located, right? You're going to find a website that takes you exactly to where you need to go, right? An example of that would be the mix here. I actually have data that people are now showing that they're finding directions to come here. I showed you guys a second ago, right, on my Google My Business part, where people are actually looking for information at to find this location, right, so they can come schedule a tour. to show you an example of how that website is designed, it's this. It's this first key part right here. Location is East Dallas. Typically is where you want to start in your H1, which is what Google looks at as your H1, H2s. If you were to think about like a term paper, this is the title of your paper, and these are subheadings. So your title 1 talks about your location. Where are you? This is how the internet has to pinpoint your location. Right?
Just something to add real quick. This is like APA format in college. You know, like whenever you had to go write a paper, that you had to write in a certain like format. So this is what he's teaching right here is like the H1, H2s, all that. That's like the format for your website, if that makes sense.
Right.
It's H. What's H stand for?
H stands for heading. I'm
Heading,
sorry.
okay, got it.
Yeah. So it's like the heading of your paper, right? So think of it like a term paper. The heading of your paper tells it everything. It tells exactly what your paper is about, what you're doing, what you're located. So this is it right here. East Dallas, offer co-working, classes, events, art studios, and commercial kitchen. All right. These taglines will let Google know what your business is about. But this first one always has to be a location. If you're a local business. Now, if you're doing business for other things like e-com and stuff like that, which is what we'll get to now.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Are you saying literally at the top of the page, like heading 1 is literally top of the page,
Yep.
down to that specific
Well,
location?
Yes and no. There you go. Yes and no, because you can place an H1 anywhere on the website.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So you can place it anywhere on the website, but that first particular spot, if you're wanting to target local area, Google needs to know that first location, that first spot. And that'll tell everything else. Because typically, what will happen, most people start with what? On their website. This is what I do. Okay?
Yeah.
But I know what you do, but I need to know where you're located first so I can put it in front of you. This is not talking about the customer. This is just solely on Google. Right? Just like how you talk to a normal person is how you talk to Google. Crazy, right? We bring us to the next point is transaction. This piece is this if you have a product to sell or a service to sell. Right? You're trying to get them to buy something. Perfect example is actually a buddy of ours, his website here. He has a CBD website. Specifically geared towards MMA fighters. This button up here, right here, click here to see all products, right? He's selling a product. He wants you to click on the products page to buy something. That's the whole transactional part of it. It's not about getting to a location. It's about I want you to buy something, right? So if you have a catering business or you have a services that you're trying to sell, you want them to call you so that way you close them on the phone. And that has to be your call to action. Click here for your products. Or click here to schedule your call. Click here for an appointment. Or click here to go to the contact form. And that's an example of transaction. And then the other one is information. Now, a lot of people, this is a big key factor for a lot of people on the internet, is they look for a lot of information. A lot of information. So your website has to gear around, you have an info product, right? You want them to know about your business, and it is to do that, then it will look something like this. This is actually another leg of our business that we opened up for events. And this entire website, the objective for the website is for you to read the entire thing. From start to finish. Alright, so it'll literally scroll down. It'll answer all your questions that you need. Because you don't know if you may have an event coming up, but you have questions. You need to have those questions answered. That's what the home site does. And what it does is answers those questions for Google for you, and then it'll just take it to the button where you want them to go.
I have a question.
Yep.
So you're saying that it's best to have these 3 pieces on the very on the front, like the homepage, all these 3 pieces need to be in place. on the
Not all
homepage.
3. You need to pick one.
Just the one that you really want to.
Yep.
Okay.
So what is your business about? Right? That's what the funnel is, really. So in this, right, you want to figure out what your business does, right? What do you want a client to do?
I want to meet with the parent face to face. I want to have a parent consultation to discuss their child's academic needs.
Right. So that becomes more information. They need to know more about what you do.
Right.
So your call to action would be, I need to know more, right? Call to find out more.
Yes.
Call to find out about what we can do for you, right? So that's where your information piece comes into.
Got it. So call to action button.
Right, a
On the
button.
front.
On the button, yeah, on the front, right? And it has to be, because that goes into another lesson about people's attention. All right, so a big piece of it, why I have this website as an info product, is because this is what's called above the fold. This is what you see immediately when you land on someone's website. All right, just like a newspaper, how a newspaper is folded in half. What you see on the headline is very, very important for newspaper printers. All right, so that way you can open the paper and read the bottom fold. That's what this is all about, for information. You get all your information here, for sure, right? We're like, well, there has to be more to it. Maybe if I don't want to read, I just call and ask. That's the objective of the website, is I need them to call me to ask more about information. Same thing on transactional. You want them to call you to buy something, right? If you're in the catering, you want them to buy catering services, or they have an event coming up and they need to buy a consultation with you to figure out something, right? And that's you set up a page for that, right? But I'm particularly talking about your homepage first. Like when someone lands on your homepage, what is it that you want them to do? Right. So when you're out there networking and you're talking to a new prospect for the first time, what is it that you want them to do? Cool. Okay. That's pretty simple. But that's what you need to know as a business owner. You don't need to know the technical pieces of actually how the city works, right? That's what I'm here for, to help you out with that. Because there's a lot. If you want to go back to this periodic table, I'm more than happy to teach anyone this stuff. If you want to learn this, I'm more than happy to teach you. Right. Which is why I went with the phone. Yes, sir.
I had a question on the navigational, transactional, and informational. Is it best? Sorry, I just want to make sure I'm clear. Is it if you're a website, or if you're creating a website, do you need to determine which one of those you want it to be, or do you want it to be all 3 of those?
You determine one.
Just one of them. Okay.
You need to determine one. And particularly if you're trying to get all 3, you have different pages set up on your website that dictate these 3.
Okay.
All 3.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So if you're trying to get someone there on the location, right? And that's another SEO thing that we talk about, is creating multiple pages.
Mm-hmm.
But that depends on what platform you're using as well too.
Yeah.
Right? Because Wix, Squarespace, all those platforms can allow you some of these robust features, but particularly it's only one page. That matters on those platforms. The only platform that matters on multiple pages is WordPress. And I don't really recommend people doing WordPress unless they're starting to do more and more heavy marketing.
Say that again? So your preferred platform is?
My preferred platform is WordPress because I have a lot of things I can do on the SEO side. That's what I do, right? But for business owners particularly, if they just want something out there, need something ranked, right? Like a one-page Wix site, Squarespace site, Weebly site works fine. No, it'll still rank. 100%. It won't rank as fast, but it'll still rank.
So how would it be different for e-commerce website?
E-commerce?
Product?
Right, so this is one right here. This is a buddy of ours right here. This is his e-commerce site. What he started off with was a testimonial, right? He wants people to click off on the testimonial to talk about their products, talk about what's going on, right? And then he goes into why people chose it, right? So you have a testimonial, then you go why, and then the objective is to get them to click and buy, right?
So for yours, like for catering and things like that, you would want to show a video of like a catering event?
So,
or
yeah, I'm wondering, because we sell 3 different products, or 3 different flavors, for retail shelves. So customers are able to go on our website, purchase product, we can drop ship, or we work at wholesale, really, across the nation. So I guess, would that be similar structure for like the CBD website?
Very similar structure.
Okay.
Since you're selling, since it's being shipped off and everything like that, you use the same structure. Because you're not really, you don't have a physical location that you want people to
No,
go to.
like,
Right?
yeah, exactly.
Purely
We're
transactional.
Purely
Oh.
transactional online, social media.
I'm working with Sandra Daniels here with
Mhm,
Windows and
yeah.
Hash Browns.
Uh-huh.
I built her a one-page website where all they do is go to the contact page.
Okay,
The whole transaction is for them to call and make an order. That's it.
got it.
And I just to piggyback off him, I think for your video, if you're trying to do the same structure, then your video would need to be more visual, like
Yeah.
meaning you gotta have a lot more of your products showing. Versus his is testimonial based. It works perfectly because CBD you have to educate, so they need to have he needs to have a lot of people say how awesome it is, and then they're like, okay, well, let me go read more about CBD.
Yeah.
Whereas your case, it's a little more visual, so they don't they want to eat that or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So it's a little
Yeah.
the friction is a lot less.
Yeah.
So you can still use the same structure, but just remember that
Yeah.
that yours is a little more
Customer
intuitive a
attention,
product.
Right? When they come and land on it, what are they coming there for?
Okay.
For him, they're coming in there for a CBD product of like they can't sleep at night, they're having pain, things like that. They're coming to yours is like, oh, I really like this cake, or I really like these cookies. You know, I don't know what you meant. You know, I'm sorry.
Super healthy.
No, but I tell you, and
Oh, so you want this vegan banana nut?
You want
bread.
the super
You
healthy
want the
vegan bite?
super healthy kale salad that can be saved for a week.
yeah, because I feel like we also have to do a lot of education too. So I'm wondering if I do like a combination of, we would try to do a combination of
Yeah.
something like that. Scenario,
Absolutely.
education, video.
Wouldn't you, in her situation there, wouldn't you then do multiple pages to rank for multiple keywords? That way some cater to her retail demographic, some cater to her.
Right. Yeah, you can. So the way I did it for Sandra Daniels is I made one singular contact page,
Mhm.
and then I listed the retail locations, and I said, if you want wholesale, call.
There you
Okay,
go.
'cause, yeah, I've got that too. I just created the wholesale
Mm.
tab. We do have the Find Us tab as
Mhm.
well. I guess we'll Google, just learn over time. I mean, how does that work? The whole marketing part of it.
The whole marketing piece of it is
Yeah.
how active you are on social media,
Yeah.
on posting, of keeping your website up to date.
Okay.
Right? And that's typically when you would. Some people don't hire a marketing company for it, but if you have a pulse on like your audience,
Uh-huh.
then you can post how often you want, right?
Yeah.
Sandra, she posts on Instagram a lot. Like she wants nothing on her website, you know?
Yeah.
Because most of her traffic comes from Instagram, but she wants people to be directed towards the website at some point.
Cool.
All right. So it depends on what platform you're really utilizing.
Yeah,
in
man.
my opinion.
Everything.
Well,
Well-
on websites,
Yeah, I'm using so Instagram, Facebook, and yeah, I mean our
what's your website?
Shopify.
Oh.
So I'm wondering about yeah.
I forgot. It's
It's totally different.
That's perfect build for what you're trying to do, though.
But
Yeah.
It's so easy.
here's the thing
Manage?
to rank on Shopify. So
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering about.
blog content.
You know,
A lot of it.
Only for Shopify specifically.
A lot of it.
All Shopify really is a picture and some blogs.
Yeah.
Pictures and blogs. Pictures and some blogs. And your blog content needs to consist of the when people bought your items, like how much did they like it? Specifically, your whole blog content can be all testimonials about people talking about your product. You don't even have to write anything about your
That's cool.
cooking
Yeah.
or anything like that.
Yeah, we do have that. I haven't gone down the blog route. We've done more content on social media. So
Well, here's
I think
the
I'm gonna do that.
Well, the other easy one that you can do if you don't want to do testimonials is recipes.
Yeah. Like how to use color and everything.
Well, yeah, it's like how do
education
you cook it, right? Like if
about
you're
the
doing
ingredients, all-
education on the
yeah.
vegan and healthy side of things, right? Then you can educate them on the health side of it. The reason, and you can tell your story in Shopify too on the about section. I know that there is one. Like you would say that this is why I switched over, and then you want to know more, check out my blog for actual written content of like my recipes, testimonials. You can put videos in blogs.
Yeah.
Audio text works well too.
Mhm.
The internet is becoming a lot more robust. So what's happening on Google side is it used to be able to search for just one particular key term. The best way I found it explained to me is that if I were to search "my foot itches," I would start seeing websites about like cures for like toe fungus or athlete's foot, things like that, right? My foot may not be itching for that reason. It could just be itchy. You know, but that's what's happening on Google side. It's really becoming on the intent now, where it will help you with articles or videos. Like if you were to look up how to build a business online, you would see millions of videos and articles online, right? And then it's like, how do you filter through that? Well, you start looking for different keywords of like, how do I build my business through your website? How do I build my business through Facebook? Right? Then you start narrowing it down. You know,
Got it.
what else you got?
Yeah, I've got more. Sorry.
No, you're fine. That's what I'm here
So for a website like Shopify, in terms of the SEO, whole optimization part of it, having the right wording. I mean, how, like if somebody types in, I don't know, superfoods, and I guess how does that whole ranking work? Since we use superfood ingredients.
So you would probably talk about how superfood ingredients. You would talk about the health benefits of superfoods, even though there's a lot out there. But
Yeah.
specifically, you would talk about how it's benefited you and then your clientele.
Okay.
All right, you can go. I had a client that was having issues about with food allergies that just time in and time out, and finally I whipped up something for them to have to cure their food allergies.
Mm-hmm.
Well, someone may have the very similar food allergies that they're looking for, and stumble upon your blog that way, right? So you're not only are you getting traffic from the superfood that you're listed, but you're also getting traffic for someone who's searching for a food allergy.
So that's why the blog can be pretty
Right.
impactful.
Right. And typically, if you're wondering about how long the blog should be,
Mhm.
between 400 and 800 words is a good sweet spot for most people. Most of my blogs range from about 1,000 to 2,000 words, just because I like to write.
Okay.
So I started writing a blog, but do I need to link it? Where do I need to put it on my website?
Yes.
So that, because I've started writing it, almost done writing it, but I need to get it in the face of, and I need to get my parents to go read it, because it's educational to help them at home, their kids. So I just need this, like, where to put it, like, to link it, and then to get them there to actually read it.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Okay.
And the same way with you, I know you use voice memos too, right?
I
So
do.
a big thing that you can do is take your voice memos and then go to this website. Red.com. They will transcribe your audios and video clips for about $1 or a penny per minute. Right. Or a penny per minute.
Wow.
So if you're trying to save time, right? And what they'll do is that they'll list out the speakers for you, right? So if you have multiple people talking, like if you're doing just like an interview, right, like that, then you can use this and separate the names, and they'll separate it out for you, transcribe it, and then you can post it on your website. Wow.
Should it be a minute or a word?
I mean, penny a word, not a minute, penny a word. Actually, it might be a minute too. They do have an option, but this is the one that I use all the time. A good thing for content too, like for Liz and for you, is that when you're talking one-on-one with your clients, the questions that they ask,
right? If they're having a difficult, like their problem, they ask you a specific problem, use that as content for your website, right? If I'm having concerns with emissions from a phone, like I'm really concerned about that, this was a legitimate concern that I had, you were able to answer it fully, then you take that content and put it on our website.
Okay.
Because the easiest way to formulate content is when you're already having these conversations, just try to set up, just that, hey, I'm gonna set this phone recorder out because I really like this conversation.
Then if you had someone that really knew what they were doing, like you, if we had that conversation, then you would be able possibly to even put some of your keywords in that
Correct.
draw. Okay.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
Because the biggest piece for me as an SEO guy is having the content pieces that makes you the expert. Right? Just like how I talked about in the EAT formula, expertise, authority, and trustworthiness. Well, you have all that. Right? I can only talk about as 90% as good as you. The other 10% is where your expertise really comes into play. Anybody got questions, comments, rhetorical remarks? No?
I have a question. So, I guess what are your thoughts on, I know this would be paid marketing, but Google AdWords compared to using keywords on your website?
Yeah.
What are you going to talk about that?
No. So it goes back to this formula here,
Okay.
right? In order for you to run Google Ads, your website needs to dictate one of these three,
Got it.
right? Because if you're running information and then tell me you want running ads for a direction, well, you're not getting nothing. You're just throwing money down the drain,
Yeah.
right? If you want them to buy something, but your ad is like, call me for more information, well, you're gonna lose that sale too, because that's not what your ad, that's not what you want your ad to be.
Right.
You want your ad to also be like, call here to buy. Right? So transactional are words like buy, sell, coupon, discount, order, price. Navigation is like, this is located here. Right? Information is like, call to find out more.
So when you mentioned earlier that if we kind of have a combination between transactional and informational, then that means we're rolling into 2 pages to get both those topics?
You would start with information.
Okay.
Because if yours does require a little education, you have to
Okay.
start with information and then go into transaction.
Okay.
But because these two bleed into each other a little bit,
Okay.
these are the most 2 common ones. Yes.
Okay, so maybe I'm slow right now, but
No, you're fine.
question that I have is, so am I doing all this, I guess, like on my website, or am I, because I'm just trying to figure out, do I have to pay extra for Google to notice me, or, because I have a website, and, well, actually came up and I was shocked, so that was another story, but I have a website, but in the past, I paid for websites, it didn't do so good, so then I switched to Wix. So I've been a mixture, and I just keep it on Wix, because to me, a lot of people don't, I mean, it hasn't been beneficial, I mean, for me to be paying a monthly fee, but I'm just trying to figure out how, like, I guess if I could say on a kindergarten level, how do I get to be like when you say you want a cake and my business come up looking for cakes in this area or whatever, how do I get that? Because that's the goal, is to have my name come up like that.
So yeah, I built this nail salon website. Same thing. You list about the city on your website first, because you want to go hyper local. Right? By hyper local, you want your neighbors. Right.
So, like for example, if you were to type cake in Google right now, somebody from Washington may not want to buy from you. But if you search just cake in Google, you're going to get everybody.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why it's talking about going hyper local first, because you want somebody buying cakes in East Dallas or somebody buying cakes in Dallas, right? If that makes sense.
Okay, so the first page of my website need to have all that.
Yes.
It needs to look
Why nobody never told me that?
I
mean, that's not even what you think about.
I'm the marketing director for a multi-million-dollar firm, and I have never heard it broken down
Not like
this
this.
simple before.
Yeah.
To the point where I do this, and I have a page of notes. So what you're getting right now is gold.
Because I'm thinking like that's not when you think about websites, and I've like looked at a lot of stuff, did classes.
Mm-hmm.
It's about like your pitch. So like in my case, I have pictures, I have my price, and that's what they said. No one, ain't nobody said put the address up there. That's it's that simple to have. You know that.
Right.
It's
that-
because
that's
there's
a so I can Google can notice
They
me.
wanna,
Yeah.
there's a trade secrets that they want to keep to
Mhm.
themselves. right?
that or it's built by a designer. A lot of times people buy websites nowadays from website designers, not from marketers.
Yeah.
So that you have to pick that distinction because you can get a really pretty website, but if it doesn't get you anything, it's not worth it, right?
And,
But
you know,
that's where that high
happens
ticket
so
comes.
I'm not the best web designer at all, but it's a pretty nice website. Like, I'm pretty proud of this one. Like, I picked out this pink and everything, right? Like,
I mean, but I'm okay. I'm just,
right, that's what I'm saying, right? Like, you can't tell me that you click on this and you like, yeah,
I would.
right? That's what I'm saying.
and I'm like, I mean, like my website when I like okay, so when the first you go in there, it's like a click, so then you get to go inside. Well, when you first pop up, it's got my little business flow. But I'm thinking that's so simple. I could have did that. I didn't even have to do all the extra studying I did to make a website. It took me forever.
It's
That
funny.
right there was like me writing a paper. It would have been bam, bam, bam,
Yep.
and it's simple. I mean, I know I have to have pictures of cakes because people want
Of
to see
course.
that. But that is not what I
Yeah,
was
but
talking
Google doesn't care about your
I've been doing
pictures.
this too long and didn't know that, and I'm still trying to get
Yep.
there.
So if you
Go
go,
ahead,
I'm sorry, if you go back to the nail salon page, I know this time, you have all the elements. Or at least, you have at least two. You have, it's got the navigational, and then the scheduling appointment.
Right. So the whole
You give it, that's everything, I mean,
Right.
pretty much.
The whole objective for this first section is to give them everything, right? I want them to come to the location.
The homepage, you
Right.
want to give them
Within
right
that,
there.
because
Right.
typically when you go to a nail salon, right, you have to kind of schedule an appointment. You got to know
Right.
time.
Right.
This is where the understanding of your customer going down to your website really matters.
So one of the things that we've done with our consultant firm is we use a Calendly link. It's free.
What is it
And
called?
a Calendly link.
Okay.
And the reason for that is some people they're a little nervous about getting on the phone with you right then and there. So they can schedule a 15-minute consultation or whatever. And we use these buttons all the time.
So over the phone, you're saying.
No. So they'll click on that button right there.
Right,
They'll pull up a little Calendly link, looks nice, clean, professional.
Hooked up to your calendar, by the way, so
Yeah.
they book a time with you on your calendar.
Right.
For 15 minutes. And that is how we've been generating leads.
On the first page.
First
Okay, 'cause
page,
my problem
this works.
was-
When he's teaching you right now, this works.
I had a button at the, you know how you have your buttons at the top of your homepage? I had a button that says schedule, so they had to go somewhere else to see that they could schedule a parent consultation. But if it's on the first page, as soon as they get there, that makes so much more sense than you having to go somewhere else, because they may not make it to
No,
the
Yeah, that's what
second-
happens. Nobody never
the
gets to
second
my
click,
form
right.
to send me
exactly.
information.
There. Yep. Because now I'm the user. I want it now. You're
Right.
making me do 2, 3, 4 clicks in. You've lost me.
Then I
Next.
Yep.
Because you don't, and I'm not trying to be rude by saying this, by me going that many clicks in, that tells me that you're really not in touch with the client. And that's why I talk to these guys as much as I can. That's why I keep them on a retainer for those questions, because they're the ones who taught me it. They're the ones who gave me the data going, Nick, you're doing it wrong. You need to fix this.
And that makes sense, it's the user experience, because I think sometimes we forget, we're on the web all day, every day clicking.
We're in
But as
our
a
world.
business owner, we forget we're users.
Mhm.
And we separate that. I don't know why, but we do.
Well, to give you an example, right, so this is what I was showing you guys earlier, this graph. This is the Mix's website. This is the information that's on here. This is the moment that I got access to the website. This is what's happening now.
Wow.
And how much time?
This is from since November till now.
It's crazy.
So
How do we
utilize those tools?
How do we get to see that? How do we get to see one of
that
those?
This
is.
is another lesson.
I didn't know I didn't know if there was somewhere like some kind of public information where you could see your tracking or something.
Absolutely. Google, I was explaining to them, all Google stuff is free. You just have to know how to use it. And I will share that with you.
Well,
And that's-
You set it up
Yeah.
to use it. You have to know how to set it up to use
Yes.
it. Again, why keep that?
So I had a question in terms of, what if you're not necessarily trying to appeal to a certain specific area? You mentioned that earlier, kind of, in terms of like, you do something different, I guess.
Typically, you would start with what,
Oh, then you, so you just, if you
You're
don't,
eliminating the where,
Okay.
because your target demographic is no longer local,
I see,
right? It's
Okay.
everybody.
gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. That's helpful.
All right.
Awesome.
Everybody's good? Cool.
Very good.
Anybody have any weekly wins from last week? No? You have a weekly win?
Well, I'll say this, it really wasn't, it was twofold, it was kind of really, it was a win, but it wasn't me. It was someone that was in the class before she did what you taught, the lady that ordered the cookies for me. Kelly. Oh, I was on her name.
Kelly Harris.
Kelly ordered some cookies for me when I did my little pitch. So, she ordered some cookies, but then I can't take credit because I didn't do what you told me. Because I'm not on social media a lot, I just don't, like, sometimes have that time. Well, when I finally looked at social media, she had put a post. She had tagged me in it. And so I said, "Oh man, I missed my 5 seconds, 24-hour rule."
She tagged me too. She tagged me in here.
She posted, she tagged, she put pictures. I mean, like, I was like, "Oh my God!" And so immediately, as I'm sitting there, I'm thinking about what y'all told me about. I got 5 minutes, and I got this time, and I'm like, "Oh my God!" I was like, missed it. So, but I did go back. and respond to people, like the people that said these are beautiful. I was like, "Thank you," and stuff like that. So I did kind of engage, and actually, I got more people that went and liked my page.
Awesome.
And I have people that like somebody else wants some unicorn cookies now. Like
Yes.
so I see that, but I did kind of pop myself because so now I'm looking at social media at least a little bit more to see if people are saying something because I did not know she had posted all that. I really
So that's
didn't.
just one person.
Yeah.
Imagine like if every time that just
Imagine you
happens.
had 100 notifications.
And other people shared her post, you know.
Those
You can
cookies
also
were
use-
absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
I would order cookies from you. Anyone can sit in a meeting and say my cookies are pretty, but a picture
taste
really does see without the
And I've tried your stuff too. They are delicious.
It is delicious.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not
at that
gonna-
meeting up there.
I
whew.
told her I want to tell her you can do a commercial for me because she was talking about the detail of it. Then she said, "Well, my daughter opened the box. She just yelled with excitement or something like that." She said, "I'm like, well, she's just making this sound." I mean, I want to buy some cookies.
If see, the thing is, you should have told her if she caught a video of her daughter with her, it's like that reaction of excitement. You can market the crap.
I
out of
wish
that.
my aunt always say, if
The
I,
crap
my
out of
aunt
that.
always say, I wish we could get videos of stuff that people say when they eat the product. Because one time a friend of mine was eating cake and she said she was sitting in a meeting and she was like, "That cake had me crazy. I wasn't focused." Well, if I had her saying it on a recording because my business is called Cake Me Crazy.
Exactly.
But
I would also just use the quote.
It's
you know?
small.
Yep, that's true. It's better than a quote is if you can get a screenshot. If people text you, "Oh my God, it was so awesome!" Just I have a big file of people saying thank you to me. It is just literally I just keep adding it to it over time. Literally, anytime I go create like a website or a sales page, I'm like, okay, well I've got like 100 testimonials I can just plug into this website now.
I love what you do or something like that. Screenshot it.
oh, okay, that's good too.
Because then people will go like, what do they thank you for? All right, cool. That's awesome. I love that.
All right.
Next week?
No, this is going to be right now. So we are going to do 30-second elevator pitches. We'll start on this side.
Oh, we started over here. I thought we was gonna start over there.
We typically start on this side. I'm going to start on this side.
I think we started last time this side. I'm Ellie. I do communications for Exodus Ministries. We serve formerly incarcerated moms reuniting with their children after incarceration. We are a long-term residential program that reunites and teaches moms how to be moms after addiction.
Hello everyone, I'm Adriana and I'm a wedding and event planner. I have a super fun job. We take care of full service or just decor or just a day of coordination. So that's what I do.
She's the coordinator for the kids.
Oh, and I'm the event coordinator here at the Mex as well.
Hello, I'm pastry chef Ty, and I am the owner of Cake Me Crazy. And we do all kind of custom treats and desserts, and all y'all business owners, we can put a logo on there. Y'all want marketing, that's, we can do marketing product as well, so.
So I'm Ryan Klink. I work with the Missional Wisdom Foundation, which helped create this space. And so we say that we teach about and experiment with alternative forms of Christian community. This is literally one of our experiments. If you're interested in more of our experiments and things like that, we actually have a national conference coming here and using this space on April 23rd through the 25th. So come hang out with us.
Hi, I'm Tamara Fleming. I'm the founder of STEM Connection, which is a local learning academy. I'm a 20-year math and science educator, former Dallas ISD teacher, and I started a learning lab, and we teach math, science, STEM-infused academic programming, and our approach is a personalized learning approach, and so we are reimagining and re-envisioning education.
Excuse me. I'm Liz Renfro. I'm a real estate professional. I was born and raised here in the East Dallas area where I specialize. Excuse me. However, I serve the entire Metroplex. It's all about building relationships. All my clients get autographed footballs by my hubby, who's a former Dallas Cowboy, Mel Renfro, and he meets all my clients and comes to all my closings.
Hi, I'm Rosemary Simmons. I'm with Geo Wellness. And we have three prongs to our products, but one of the ones I talk about the most is the little devices that you would put on your cell phones, your laptops, any of your wireless devices because of the radiation that we're getting off of these devices and what the damage it's doing to your bodies. And especially for children whose bodies were not able to handle, think their size body, your size body, but they're getting the same amount of radiation. So that's what we do.
My name's Dominique. I'm the founder of Food Group Mission. We're a superfood snack brand based here in Dallas, and we make our own line of superfood bites. So we have 3 different flavors. Our Mother Earth is our original. The Nutty Adventures are peanut butter, and Holy Truffle Punch is our dark chocolate. We sell direct to consumer and also in retail shops.
Morning, everyone. Let's try that again. Morning, everyone.
Morning.
Here we go. My name is Nick. I'm the marketing director for Firearms Legal. We are a prepaid legal protection group where if you have to use your firearm in self-defense, we cover all of the attorney fees and make sure that you do not have to go defend yourself in criminal and civil court. So, friends with these guys, love these guys, big advocate of these guys.
Hi everyone, I'm Kim Klossberg and my company's called Kim Klossberg Designs. I help people build their brands by really focusing on who they are and what they're offering and understanding their customer. And then after they know who they are, help them get the message out to the world. This morning I was in a meeting, which sorry I'm late, with a woman who was trying to sell classes that Molly's been helping me with. And she had, I see this all the time, her brand over here, she was warm and organized and friendly and clarifying stuff.
30 seconds are up. I'm so sorry.
Okay. And I'll tell you.
I want to hear the rest.
I know, but sorry, it's the rules.
Somehow I
It's the rules.
Good. Oh, me? Oh, so my name's Wally. Yeah, you guys know me here. But so I'm a marketer, advertiser. So literally, people typically say to me, they go, Wally, I want to sell more products on social media. So I say, okay, do you want to do it on Facebook or Instagram or Google, wherever, like wherever. Basically, I trade money with the social media platform, and then we generate leads for you, right?
Nice. All right, cool. Well, you guys
That's
know who I
the
am.
shortest speech I've ever heard.
I know, right?
I know. I'm the event man right now. I'm not.
But my name is Fung. I'm an SEO strategist. Google and I are best friends. That's what I just showed you guys. There are reasons why I do that, so I can help you guys get your business on the internet. Not so much on social media, because it does matter, but typically just on the internet first. All right.
Boom, perfect.
All right, guys.
So
any announcements? Do you have any announcements?
yes, we do. We do.
Oh, yeah.
So we have a couple. So I got some feedback from a couple people, like how I obviously we want this thing to grow, so more people to come, that kind of stuff. So I hope you guys got value and you would share it with a friend. The first thing we're going to announce is that one is the first workshop you bring anybody to is going to be free. So if you bring a friend, just don't have to worry about bringing anything. It's $10 to get in, right? Now, additionally, after we do the first free one, if you want to bring a friend again, let's say it's the same friend, you guys can kind of split that cost, right? So it's $10 for one person, but any additional person you bring is just $5. So they get half the cost, basically. So
2 for 15.
correct. Yes, that's a better way to say it. So it's free on the first one, but if you bring your friends again and continue, then it's just $5 per extra person, and we'll keep track of that, no biggie. The second thing is that, third thing. The third thing is that these things are, they're filmed live, so we actually give out the replays to everybody that is here. The unfortunate thing is, sometimes people can't come for whatever reason, right? So we are allowing people to buy the recordings from us if they would like to do that. And so if you know anybody that is interested, maybe they have a scheduling conflict or something, they can't come, we do have an option where they can buy the recordings from us, and all that money is going to be donated here to the facility. Not all of it, it's going to be like 50-50, just about. So anything they pay will be donated to the facility. And that's pretty much it on announcements for me.
And how much are the recordings?
Yes, so for anybody that's in this room here, $27 for the month, and you'll get 4 recordings every week. So it's actually cheaper than coming to the weekly if you commit. The second thing is online. So people that don't make it to the facility here, it's $47. So I'm marketing it actively online to people that I know. They're going to pay $47, but because you guys know it's here in Venice, it's $27.
Cool. Anybody else got any announcements? Anything else happening up next? Do you know? Liz, you got anything going on?
I just reduced the price on a property over here in East Dallas off of Ferguson Road. It's on San Paula, 2505 San Paula. We dropped it down to $229.
Oh, nice. Not your buyer yet.